Look how fat that one over there is. These are mad. Oh, oh.
So, I tried to document the morning of surgery. I got up, I took a shower. I wanted to take a really good shower because I knew that I wouldn't want to get a shower right away with my arm. It can't get wet, obviously, and I didn't want to do it right away because I knew it would be kind of painful. So I got radial shortening surgery, which basically there's two big bones in your arm. There's like two long ones, and there's a bunch of little tiny bones in your wrist, and all of my little tiny bones were resting on just my radius, which is one of the big bones in my arm. So it was causing a lot of pressure on my radius, so they had to shorten it so that the weight would be distributed between both of my big bones. Basically, once we got to the hospital, my mom took a few pictures of me, but nothing much happened video-wise, so I figured I would say it all now while it's still fresh in my brain. So the surgery happened on Thursday. It's now Saturday. Still in a lot of pain, but doing okay. Basically, when we got there, they told us to be there at 10:30. We got there at like 10:15. I actually knew one of the nurses, which automatically eased my mind right away. So that was really nice to know somebody right off the bat. She got us a room, asked some questions, took me back to get changed into hospital attire. All of the doctors and nurses were so very nice. I feel like I met a million people that morning. It was busy and crazy, people coming in and out, meeting me, telling me what I need to know, what they're gonna do, what I should expect, everything after the surgery. Like they were all very nice, gave a lot of information, eased my mind, were funny, were relatable. Like they were great. The main surgeon came in, loved her, have met her already before surgery day. She marked up my wrist and said like this is where the incision will be, and explained what was happening in surgery, which I kind of wanted to tune out a little bit. Basically, a lot of information was thrown at us through talking to a lot of the doctors. It came out that, oh, I'm not a sports person, but I do sing, I do musical theater, I'm a show person. And then when I went into the OR, the anesthesiologist was like, oh, like, did we make a deal with the singing thing? Because my mom made a joke that I could like sing myself to sleep and they could hear me sing. And so then everyone was like, yeah, you should sing. So I ended up singing My House from Matilda, because I told them, I was like, I was just in a show at my high school and this is my song that I sang. So I did end up walking in and singing to everybody right before my surgery, which I think is so fun and kind of ridiculous. But it was just a good environment. They were all so nice and made it so much less nerve-wracking. So once I sang, they got me comfortable, laid down on the table, they did a nerve block so that I definitely couldn't feel anything in my hand, in my wrist when they were doing the surgery. My whole body was like numb and kind of like tingly. And then it was so strange because I could hear him talking to me and I was answering, but I did not feel like I was answering. I could like hear myself answering. And it was just a very weird sensation, I guess. I could still hear my own thoughts too, like I was thinking to myself. And then he said, "You still doing okay?" And I heard myself say, "Yeah." And then everything went white. And I still felt like tingly, but then when everything went white, like I didn't feel anything. Like I could still hear my thoughts. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, what's happening? And then I opened my eyes and I could see the bright white lights on the ceiling. And I realized like I was breathing really heavy and really fast. And then the nurse was like right above my head and was like, "Okay, deep breaths, you're doing really well." But that was just the freakiest part of it. And I was still like conscious for that. And it was so strange. I didn't like that part at all. He said like, "You're doing really well. You'll be out in a few minutes." And then I don't remember anything after that. So that was all before the surgery even happened. Then they did their thing. The surgeon was awesome. She said she was able to do it all perfectly and everything went great. I did get metal in my wrist. I have a metal plate and then I think 3 screws. Right after the surgery, I was woken up. They took a breathing tube out of my mouth, which also, fun fact, they gave me a special breathing tube because then they found out that I was a singer and he didn't want to damage my vocal cords. So that worked out that I sang for them because then they gave me a different thing. The anesthesiologist said, "You probably won't remember me talking to you right now, so I'll make sure to tell your parents too." But he said like something about my doses of medicine and like when I can take stuff. And I don't remember the end of his sentence. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep mid-sentence while he was speaking to me. I went into surgery around like 12:30. The surgery took about 2 hours. Then they let me sleep off the anesthesia for a while. So after she woke me up, I was still pretty drowsy, pretty tired, but she pushed my hospital bed into another little section that had some curtains. They brought my parents back. My mom and dad are troopers. They had to sit there for a while. The nurse kept asking me if I wanted ice, and I was like, my arm is so numb, like that's not gonna do anything. But she was so sweet and just wanted to help. Drive home was easy. We stopped at Sheetz. Mom got me a slushie, and then I was home for the rest of the night. I did scare myself with my numb arm several times though, because I had it in a sling since it was numb. I didn't want it to just be hanging there because I couldn't move it since it was numb. The nerves were numbed. But there were a few times where I would like bend down I opened a drawer to get my pajamas and my arm went swinging with me since I bent down, and I swung in front of my face, and I scared myself a few times because my arm, I didn't have any control over my arm. So I thought it was entertaining. It was funny to me, but I was thrilled the next morning when the numbness was gone. That's my surgery story. Still healing, still working at it.